the box. At Iccdbs,
Good morning,
there is
everyone.
no box.
Okay, welcome
We believe
to the
that
first International
consistency is
Conference
no
of Creative
longer
Design,
enough
Business
to
and
do
Society.
business in this
So
contemporary
please
digital
sit
age.
on your respective
At
seats and we're going to
Iccdbs,
start
we
in a
teach,
second.
learn,
Thank you.
invent, design, manage, collaborate, innovate with businesses beyond those boundaries, beyond limitation, beyond the box. The Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business, also known as Iccdbs, is one of the faculties at ITS Surabaya. ITS researchers collaborate with local, national and international institutions to drive further exploration for contributing to global development and advancing humanity. Iccdbs is settled on a credible and sustainable innovative ecosystem.
The faculty Iccdbs was founded to translate ideas into actions, bridging technology to humanity and moving our imagination toward a better future. We seize a different creative perspectives and approach to solve the problem, to be a solution, and to improve as we design, build, and manage.
Industrial design is an integrated approach which combines aesthetics, ergonomics, sustainability, manufacturing, and mechanics to solve product-related problems. Our digital laboratory is oriented to integrate digital technology and design process for the creation of new and innovative products. Meanwhile, in the Proto Model Laboratory, we explore materials, prototyping using modern and digital technology and engineering in the early stage production to be tested. We believe in a principle that great design in interior space will improve quality of life. These spaces should be aesthetic, functional, safe, comfortable, and sustainable. Our lab expertise in the optimization of space performance in buildings, the development of spatial-themed extended reality technology, building information modeling-based interior design, and intelligent technology practice. Visual is one of the most powerful mediums to communicating ideas. Visual communication works transcend beyond words and language, directly breach human cognitive processes by controlling color, symbols, images, or even movement. We have now reached the point where the power of technology touches every corner in everyday life. We acknowledge the need for future managers, leaders, and professionals who can manage this power. We prepare future business leaders to organize, analyze, direct, and evaluate various business operations with an effective strategy and fundamental knowledge of business, entrepreneurship, marketing, and human resource management. We apply critical thinking, science, and technology to discuss what best solution to give in the global business environment. Development is about expanding the choices people have to lead lives that they value. Understanding how development impacts our environment or social forces will give us insight on how to reshape our future. At Iccdbs, it's our responsibility to show that creativity and innovation can solve our society's problems today and provide the best solution. We foster creativity for prosperity. Let's walk toward the future, beyond boundaries, with us.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Maganda Umaga, Bon dia, Shub Prabhat, Shwaditan Chow, Zhao Shanghao, and Selamat Pagi to everyone present today. I'm Leatu Nikma, and I'm honored to be your MC for this exciting conference day. And before we begin, we would like to show the safety induction video from the Swiss Bell Rainforest Kuta Bali Hotel that we should pay attention to. Okay, so we would like to greet for this fine morning the Honorable Vice Rector 3 of Human Resource Organization, Information System and Technology, Professor Ahmad Rusdiansyah, as later be called Prof. Dodi. Good morning, sir. And also the Honorable Dean of Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business, and the General Chair of the first Iccdbs, Dr. Imam Baihaqi. Good morning. And also, good morning to Professor Tony Wall from Liverpool Business School and Liverpool John Moores University from the UK. He is the Professor of Transformational Management and Learning. And also, good morning to the Honorable Professor Benny Cahyono from Coventry University, the Professor of Sustainability and Supply Chain Management from Coventry University, the Honorable Professor Ryan Brading from College of Management, National Sun Yat-sen University, Taiwan. Good morning, Professor. And also the Honorable Professor Sarena Abdullah from University Science Malaysia. Good morning. She is the current Dean and also the Art Historian at School of the Arts of University Science Malaysia. And would also like to greet the Head of Departments, Secretary of Departments, and esteemed members of Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business of Institut Teknologi 10 November. And also, we would like to greet the organizing committee of the International Conference on Creative Design, Business and Society. And greetings to all the honorable speakers, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, those who are present here in Bali, and also those who join us virtually from all over the world. Before we begin, we'd like to show you the safety induction
Selamat
video
datang di
from the
Swisswell
hotel.
Hotel Rainforest Kuta Bali. Terima kasih sudah memilih Swisswell Hotel Rainforest Kuta Bali menjadi tempat meeting Bapak Ibu hari ini. Hotel kami sudah dilengkapi dengan peralatan safety seperti alat pemadam api ringan, ruang kontrol CCTV, alat penyemprot air, pendeteksi asap, exit pintu darurat, alat pemancar air, public address system. Bila alarm berbunyi, mohon tetap tenang karena tim tanggap darurat kami sedang mengecek sumber alarm tersebut. Bila terjadi situasi gawat darurat, Bapak Ibu harus meninggalkan ruangan ini sesuai dengan arahan tim keamanan kami. Saat situasi gawat darurat, Bapak Ibu tidak diperkenankan untuk menggunakan lift atau eskalator. Disarankan berjalan dengan cepat menuju tangga darurat yang terdekat dari ruangan Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih.
Thank you. And the next part we're going to sing the Indonesian national anthem. And please, all ladies and gentlemen, stand up.
Indonesia tanah airku, tanahku di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi pandu ibuku. Indonesia kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah air. Kita bersatu, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya, untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia merdeka. merdeka, anakku negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia merdeka, merdeka, anakku negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Thank you to all participants. You may sit again. Okay. We would also like to greet the Head of Department of Management Business of Institute Technology 10 November, Ibu Sharifah Hanum. Good morning, Ibu. Good morning. And also, we'd like to greet the Secretary of Department. We would like to greet the Vice Dean of Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business, Ibu Dr. Elia Zulaiha. Good morning, Ibu. Okay. And would also like to greet the Secretary of Department of Development Business, Ibu Dr. Windiani. Good morning, Ibu. Okay. And would also like to greet the Head of Department of the Interior Design of Dr. Mahindra Wardana. Good morning, Bapak. And would also like to greet the Head of Department of the Development Business, Dr. Arfan Fahmi. Good morning. Okay. Okay. And also we'd like to greet the Secretary of Department from Interior Design Department, Dr. Cesario Ari Budianto. Good morning. Okay. And also we'd like to greet the Head of Graduate Program from Interior Design Department, Dr. Firman Hawari. Good morning. So, everyone, welcome to the main event of the first International Conference on Creative Design, Business and Society. Okay, we'd like to give a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, the first Iccdbs is held here in the beautiful surroundings of the island of Paradise, Bali. And this is organized by the Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business at Institute Technology 10 November. And also from the Research Center Business in Society, Coventry University. Thank you. And the theme of this conference is Leveraging Artificial Intelligence, or AI, for Creative Design, Business and Society. The first Iccdbs can happen successfully with the support of Stikom Bali, Liverpool Business School of Liverpool John Moores University, University Science Malaysia, APAX, Seni Pusat Pengajian School of the Art, University Science Malaysia, ITS Technoscience, Institute of Creative Arts and Design, UCSI University Malaysia, Digidoi Consortium, and also, last but not least, National Yunlin University of Science and Technology. Thank you for all of the supporter of these Iccdbs. And ladies and gentlemen, for your information, from over 270 submissions, 131 full papers were selected for presentation in today's event, representing a broad range of topics from fields in creative design, business and management, development studies and humanities, and also interdisciplinary field. This event is conducted hybrid, where we have more than 100 participants attending here in person in Kuta, Bali. And aside from participants from Indonesia, there are also international participants from India, Malaysia, Philippines, Portugal, Thailand, Taiwan, and also the United States. And on behalf of the committee, we are all very grateful to be blessed with health and the opportunity to gather here to share and also discuss important issues in creative design and business society. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is a day of learning, sharing and building new connections. We encourage you to actively participate in the sessions, ask questions, and engage with fellow delegates. Let's make this first Iccdbs conference a memorable experience for us all. And the agenda for today's session are as follows. We will have welcome remarks by Rector of ITS, who will be represented by Vice Rector 3 of ITS, and we will have official opening ceremony opened by the General Chair of Iccdbs. The keynote speech, the first keynote speech, will be delivered by Associate Professor Ryan Brading. The keynote speech 2 from Dr. Sarina Abdullah, and then photograph session, and then we will continue with first parallel session, second parallel session until 5:30 p.m., and then best paper announcement and photograph session, then closing at 7 p.m. Okay, so without further ado, let's open this first Iccdbs conference from the General Chair of the first International Conference of Creative Design, Business and Society, from Dr. Imam Baihaqi. Please give a big round of applause.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to everyone. Greeting to all participants. Once again, welcome to Bali. We welcome you to the Iccdbs 2023, the first international conference on creative design, business and society. It is our pleasure to see many of you here in person for the first time this year. Our theme is leveraging artificial intelligence or AI for creative design, business and society. Encapsulates our mission to explore interplay between the field of creative design, business and society. We have assembled distinguished lineup of speakers, experts and thought leaders to inspire fresh insight and solutions. We encourage active interactions, idea sharing, and networking during the conference. Your engagement during this conference will contribute to individual growth and our collective understanding. Our special thanks to our sponsors and partners for their invaluable support in making this event possible. To those who have traveled from far, your presence enriched the conference, and we anticipate the insight and connectings you will bring. Special thanks also goes to our committee members who have been working tirelessly over the last 3 months preparing this event to happen today. Together, let's drive creativity, economic growth, and positive change. Thank you for being part of these momentum occasions. We look forward to dialogues and discovery ahead. Let's the journey begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opening remarks from Dr. Imam Baihaqi as the General Chair of the First International Conference on Creative Design, Business and Society. Next, we have the opening remarks of the first Iccdbs conference by Vice Rector 3 of Institut Teknologi 10 November, Profesor Ahmad Rusdiansyah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning for everyone. Our distinguished speakers, Professor Benny Cahyono from the Coventry University, Professor Ryan Brading from National Sun Yat-sen, Professor Serena Abdullah from USM Malaysia, and Professor Tony Wall. And I would like to distinguish university partners from Stikom Bali, and then the Liverpool John Moores University, and University of Science Malaysia, and National Yunlin University of Technology Taiwan, and of course the Coventry University as our partners. Our colleagues from ITS and our participants, students, ladies and gentlemen, on the behalf of our rector, I would like to welcome you in the inaugural International Conference on Creative Design, Business and Society, or Iccdbs 2023. The Faculty of Creative Design and Business Digital at ITS is proud to host this event, expressing the gratitude of the 5 departments in ITS, business management, and then development studies, industrial product design, and creative design, visual creative design, and interior design. Bali's stunning nature and vibrant culture provide an ideal place for discussing the interconnectedness of the creativity, business, and society, especially in the context of the transformative impact of artificial intelligence, or AI. The conference theme, Leveraging AI for Creative Design, Business, and Society, reflects the rapid evolution of our world. As researchers and policymakers, it is our responsibility to stay ahead in this era where AI is driving innovation and change. AI can be beneficial but also pose risks to our society depending on its usage. Therefore, it's crucial to handle it wisely to ensure widespread benefits and safety. This conference provides an opportunity to explore the connection between AI, creative design, business growth, and society. I believe it will inspire new ideas, foster a valuable collaboration, and generate solutions that reshape our fields and have a lasting global impact. A sincere appreciation to the hardworking organizers, esteemed speakers, guest partners, and presenters, and attendees for your strong commitment in making this conference a resounding success. Your efforts are truly valued. Finally, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, I formally open the International Conference on Creative Design, Business and Society, Iccdbs 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ahmad Rusdiansyah, or known as Professor Dodi, for opening officially the first International Conference of Creative Design, Business and Society, and all the opening remarks. And for your information, both Prof. Dodi, or Professor Ahmad Rusdiansyah, and also Dr. Imam Baihaqi are 2 of the rector candidates of Institute Technology 10 November. Hope you have a good luck for tomorrow's event. Okay, and for your information, currently it is raining outside, okay? And I think I was informed yesterday that this is the first rain after quite a long hot season, and probably this is also your first time to getting the rain from the hot season. And also this is actually quite relevant to the name of this hotel, Rainforest, right? Okay. And also, we would like also to greet the head of department from the product design, Dr. Bambang Tristiono. Good morning. And also the head of department of visual communication design, Dr. Bambang Mardiono Suwito. Good morning. And also to the secretary of department, Dr. Sabar. Good morning. Also, we would like to greet the secretary of department of business management, Ibu Dewi Saktia Ardiantono. Good morning, Ibu. Okay. And in this opening of the Iccdbs conference, it is our honor to have a keynote speech from Associate Professor Ryan Brading from Sun Yat-sen University, Taiwan, who will share insights on the topic, Do globalization, equality, and sustainability coexist well? And in this keynote speech, it will be moderated by Professor Benny Cahyono, who will be the moderator for this keynote speech. And I would like to introduce first Professor Benny Cahyono. He is the Professor of Sustainability and Supply Chain Management and the co-leader of the Sustainable Production and Consumption Cluster at the Center for Business and Society, or CBIS, Coventry University in the UK. Okay. And we will have in total 45 minutes, 30 minutes of keynote speech from Professor Ryan Brading and Q&A of 15 minutes in the end. And those who have questions may approach the standing mic on the left and the right of this ballroom. And to Professor Benny Cahyono and also Prof. Ryan Brading, the podium is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor and pleasure to be here today as the representative of the Center for Business and Society at Coventry University in the UK. We're very pleased for this first conference that we are co-hosting with ITS. My name is Benny Cahyono. I'm a professor of Sustainability and Supply Chain Management at Coventry University, and I'm pleased to introduce the first keynote speaker for today's event, Ryan Brady, Associate Professor Ryan Brady from the National Sun Yat-sen University in Taiwan. Before I move on to the presentation, let me briefly introduce him and read his CV. Ryan Brading graduated from University of Essex, a PhD in political science. He also obtained the Master of Arts from University of Nottingham and also MBA in International Management from University of London Royal Holloway. He has held a number of positions in various institutions, namely the College of Management currently at National Sun Yat-sen University, convening and lecturing English in MBA courses. He also worked at the Association of Commonwealth Universities as academic assessors, as well as a number of other positions. In terms of publications, it's very long publications here, but the notable ones are some books. The most recent one, probably a book entitled Populisms in Venezuela, as well as a number of internationally reviewed journals, a number of well-known journals such as European Political Science, International Journal of Law and Political Sciences. He also very active in giving talks and invitations at the international conferences. And we are very pleased today that he will be giving his presentation, his keynote speech on the title of Do Globalization, Equality and Sustainability Coexist Well? So without further ado, I would like to invite Ryan to deliver the keynote speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, Harisa, for getting in touch with me several months ago. She was my student about 4 years ago back at in Kaohsiung, and I remember I was sort of teaching you sustainability. Yeah. Look, when I sort of got this invitation, I had to think what sort of topics I could choose that will be related to design, innovation, society, and business. How can I basically share something with you that will be perhaps slightly different, and that could be very much based on current events? So really, I thought that sort of ethics is going to be a key part, thinking about how sort of certain sectors of the population globally are going through shifts of how power structures are changing, and also how sustainability is a part of our daily life, on how much countries are following the sort of targets that they have to follow by 2050. And I also thought about artificial intelligence, how all these things come together, and whether artificial intelligence will be useful or not. How are we going to deal with the possibilities of artificial intelligence controlling us? And to what extent can we make good use of it? So this is going to be from an aspect of sustainability mainly. I will try to share with you how I kind of see that. To follow my... I have to sort of sit down. Right. The way to sort of thinking it through, what's globalization, and where does globalization come from? Who kind of constructed it? Where was the moment in which the globalization that we know today, from what is the beginning? And what we need to sort of look at, it's Harry Truman's speech in January 1949. That was the way that after the Second World War, it was very clear that there was going to be some sort of, we'll call it the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States. And Harry Truman, in an only 14-minute speech, made it very, very clear what's going to be the situation of where the US would try to dominate and describe communism, of what is going to be the future of your nation if you decide to take communism as your sort of system. So what was the key point is that in that speech, he sort of outlined that world trade was a key factor, and in order to find freedom, you will have to follow the economic system that will come from Washington. And really, it was very, very clear in that speech that the word globalization was not used, but world trade and freedom was a key factor. So, in other words, for you to be economically successful, you have to understand what the US was expecting from you. Basically, be a satellite of the US. And what I find interesting in the words used by Truman was that it's to reduce barriers, free trade, which is basically that is the element of globalization. And that's exactly what has been going on until today. However, what is also happening is that the globalization constructed by these dominant countries has been not that fruitful. And but before I get into that point, I would like to sort of share with you Barbie. And what is Barbie? And I basically put there as a symbol of hegemonic fantasies. And in the sense that what the beauty of Barbie represents, and at the same time, who wanted to be like a Barbie? In what way America was trying to provide you with an alternative of something that is going to be the ultimate of what you are trying to achieve, particularly girls. So in a way, it would have been the situation of the American lifestyle, the American dream. Now, I took this photo back in February 2019 in a supermarket in Ryde, Isle of Wight. And I found it really interesting. I was not interested in buying toys. I haven't got a child, I haven't got a daughter. But what I found fascinating about the Barbie is what it's representing. The sports car, a pink car, a blonde girl with blue eyes. Why it's always been that type of person, when in reality, that only represents Hollywood or the American middle class, the white middle class. Now, I took another photo. This was during the summer in exactly the same supermarket, and I found another Barbie. Now it's black. And the graphics have changed. And also I found a jumper. Now we could see there is a real big contrast of the Barbie, the one that I took in 2019, to the one now in 2023. So basically, Barbie's changed. Changed in a sense that in 2016, they decided to have 3 different body shapes of the Barbie, around 7 different skin tones, and about 23 different hairstyles. So basically, they understood that they could not keep on selling the Barbie, the blonde 1950s Barbie, because there's no market and it didn't represent what globalization is. I'm not sure if you actually watched this movie. Barbie. It's been banned in several countries. In Vietnam, it's banned, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Algeria. Indonesia is available. The Philippines is banned. But what is interesting is that it's trying to give us how, within an American context, they understand the Barbie today. So really the idea that a baby girl, well, a child, will have a baby, that's the sort of toy that they would choose. And that was the toy available. But what happened in 1959, that it was Ruth Handler, who's the designer of the product, realized that Rebecca, her daughter, was playing with her friends, cutting dresses and trying to make up how they would like to dress themselves. So that was the original concept of the design behind the Barbie. So really, when the Barbie was created, these girls were totally in love with what it represented, because it's no longer the woman is to have babies. It's more about having their own life and trying to really see themselves within society. So the idea of the old ways of toys changed. And then there was some sort of a revolution. And particularly in the last 10 to 15 years, the Barbies now, you have women, they are pilots, they are fighters, they are surgeons, they are astronauts. Women are represented in every part of society nowadays, no longer being the pretty, blonde, and cute Hollywood star individual. Now, what is interesting about the movie is that it goes into the society of the in Barbie land, in which Barbie, everything is wonderful, everything is perfect every day. But it got to a point that Barbie started to think about dying, telling other Barbies, have you ever thought about death? And that was not normal. That was not exactly how the idea, the symbol of Barbie was supposed to be. Barbie is immortal. And everybody stopped, and then she kind of reflected, why am I thinking so differently? And then she was advised to go to the real world. The reason why she was thinking so differently was because the girl that bought her in the real world no longer liked her, was totally against what she represented. So she decides to go to the real world, from Barbie land to the real world. She goes to the real world and she finds the girl that had her, but she was trying to persuade her that I am your best friend. You love what I represent. And the girl said to her, I hate you. You are not exactly what I liked. You represent the worst things of our society. You represent rampant consumerism. You represent of being fake. And of course, Barbie was quite disappointed, because obviously how she was constructed within that type of system already was no longer, had no appeal. So really, the reason why I choose this case study is because we have to think about Barbie land and the real world. What's the difference between living in a bubble that is not really getting in touch with the harsh conditions that we all live in? And I think it's also, how can we look at that from artificial intelligence and human intelligence? Where are we losing our sense of what we really are? And we are so dependent now on technology that we are really leaving from our core values. So really, what is artificial intelligence? And to what extent, who's constructing it? What's the role of the artificial intelligence? How can it be very damaging? but also how can it be very, very useful? What are the opportunities and what are the obstacles? And I think that's sort of mentioned earlier by Inan. So really, what I'm trying to share with you to think about, we really need to have the sixth sense, like have the third eye. We have to think beyond what artificial intelligence is doing for us. And think from a human perspective, and also find out where our instincts are. Where can we actually find our intuition? How can we find that hidden information that is essential for us to become good citizens, good designers, good professionals, but people with very good sense of good conduct within our society? So really, what I kind of trying to share with you is that I do feel that the West is going through a process of breakdown. I think that the West, or call it the global North, it's not really being able to recover from the 2007-2008 global financial crisis. Then we've had issues like Brexit. That has been a big problem for not only Europe, but for the UK. Then we have the Trump phenomena. Well, have we had all these changes? What COVID has done to us, whether COVID has been something useful in the long term or not, how societies have broken down because of COVID, the economy. And of course, we have now two conflicts which are, to some extent, breaking down the world order has been working on for decades. So really, what I can see, there's a lot of tribalism, protectionism in the West. And I do feel that societies are under pressure. And one of the things also that I think I need to share with you is the Commission of Population and Development, the United Nations. What's happening there at the moment needs a lot of attention. And that is the comprehensive sexual education. They are trying to push a way of gender equality, which is trying to look at non-binary thoughts. And that means that transgender, the way that identities have been looked at, they're trying to get this as part of the educational system. Transgender, all these new aspects under one umbrella. Now, I'm quoting, I'm looking at what happened in April in the United Nations, in New York, and that was very much a focus from Scandinavian countries, in which they were trying to really persuade all the other countries to look at the opportunities and the need to really discuss these issues in class. And most countries felt that this has to be done within the family. But there are, of course, certain countries in which disagree with that, thinking that this has to be done by teachers, has to be done by specialists, has to be done with information which is information-based, in order to really comply with a new set of equality. And what I found interesting, that is sort of looking of trying to make sure that in terms of health, in terms of HIV, in terms of pregnancies, in terms of educating the young generation of what is the right way to understand issues like sexuality and identity within the schools. Another key point mentioned is about bodily autonomy, which kind of is trying to argue that don't take the gender given to you by birth. You have the right to change things according to what you think is more suitable to you. I mean, these are quotes from the Swedish ambassador to the United Nations of how they're trying to argue that this is the way forward. And really, this has also created a lot of protests throughout Western societies. Parents disagreeing with this, and also those who are against it, that they want this to really be promoted within the curriculum. So really, this is in particular in Canada, in which there was a reporter seeing two bands, parents as well as those promoting transgender sort of identity. Now, I'm going to leave that for a minute. Now I'm going to slightly change the topic, and it's going to be about sustainability and how globalization is trying to either stop it or promote it. Now, what is fascinating, and I think in reality we don't pay attention to this, 40% of all the ships going around the world is transporting fossil fuel, transporting oil, gas, coal. That's 40%. So how can we really become sustainable when such a large amount of ships are doing totally the opposite of what we're trying to do related to sustainability? So the United Nations is very concerned because the 43% reduction by 2030 is not going to work. And of course, very soon there's going to be another climate change summit in Dubai, and there has been a reminder that we need to change the way we deal with our targets, with our responsibilities about climate change. So really, in overall, I do feel that globalization in itself is resisting sustainability. And for globalization to continue, has to change dramatically in order for the idea of zero emissions by 2050 to be possible. And I think that artificial intelligence can help in dealing with how we're going to deal with climate change. And there are several ways of doing it. Artificial intelligence is very, very powerful. It can really deal with a lot of data very, very fast and give us ideas that we, as humans, will find it very difficult to get at that speed. So artificial intelligence could be a great tool. Also, how we're going to do things in the supply chain, how we can make things quicker, cheaper, using less energy. Artificial intelligence can be very, very helpful. And also, I think that it could be very good about transportation, how we could deal with public ways of doing on the roads, about the pollution. And I think altogether, I think it will also be good with agriculture. How to use less pesticides, how to make good use of the land, how to understand how the weather and how it's going to be the best way to grow. So artificial intelligence is very, very useful, but we need to be very clear, how are we going to make good use of these new tools given to us? And I think in altogether, it will be helpful with the circular economy, how we can recycle things, how can we use less waste, how can we make sure that everything that we design is going to be a way forward instead of keep on using consumerism, thinking only on profit and just short gains. So really to conclude, I think that Harry Truman's speech no longer applies. I think that the rampant consumerism making in the Barbie movie, it has to also change. For sustainability to be really effective, the way that we do things has to be very, very different. And I do also think that artificial intelligence, it will be very, very helpful indeed, but also my main point is that artificial intelligence is going to have an impact on society because people will lose their jobs. There will be points in which labor, workforce, will not be able to find alternatives. So that will put a lot of pressure on the way that we live works. So yes, we are under sort of a crossroads at the moment. And I think it's very, very good, this conference, because it has to be addressed from different aspects, not only from the design perspective, but also about societies, about how business, the dirt of business, the brutality of capitalism, but also how power structures are changing at the moment. To what degree the US will be able to become a hegemonic superpower, and who's going to replace that? And of course, I think it's interesting, Indonesia. Where does Indonesia fit into this? How Indonesia can have good relations with China, with Russia, at the same time with US. Particularly because you are very much trying to develop and using a lot of Chinese money for development. And of course, these are the issues that many, many countries are having to assess. What can we gain, but also how much are we going to lose in that process? So I think the designers, the academics, I think it's important to comprehend how things are shifting right now, because things are moving very, very fast. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Ryan, for the very fascinating thoughts on globalization, particularly. So I would like to invite some questions from the audience, if you have. Any questions for Ryan? Oh, please, yeah. Oh, you can use the standing microphone there. If you don't mind, if you could introduce yourself, sir, please. Thank you.
Myself, Professor Sayyid Azharuddin from Aurangabad, India. I just want to ask a question on your last sentence, which you have just remarked, way forward for Indonesia. You said you have to think whether you have to align with China, Russia, and lose some of the advantages in progressing. Do you think it is a threat if Indonesia join and several developing countries, they join, they invite China and Russia? Is there any indirect disadvantage to these countries? What is your opinion about that? Because it's the sentence which you have said is a bit threatening. So I would like to throw some light on it so that the developing nations, including India, can be, we have the way forward. Thank you.
That's a very good question. And I had a student asking me this question about 3 weeks ago, actually. And I think if we look at BRICS, BRICS has been new countries have joined what BRICS signifies. And what I think is useful about BRICS is just breaking away from the IMF, from the World Bank, the old system, and that somehow is very much related to Harry Truman's speech of neoliberalism, of the way that the West has kept in power after the end of colonization, but has been sort of institutional mechanisms to still keep control on certain countries. So I think that finding alternatives, like the non-aligned movement, which basically, there was a conference here in 1959, called the, which basically Tito, the president of Yugoslavia, constructed. That has been thoughts of how can we not be part of any of them and still find them in which we can benefit something economically, politically, without jeopardizing our position as a nation. So I think BRICS is a good thing. I think that it will give some sort of advantages to countries. You know, going all the way from Brazil, Argentina now is joined, Iran, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, India, how is progressing. So that puts more challenges on the West and perhaps more opportunities for developing countries. So I think this has been thought through, and I think that there have been already ways to deal with it. Well, don't get in debt. Don't get in debt, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, sir. Yeah. So while we're waiting, thank you. While we're waiting for another question, can I throw you a question? You nicely set up your presentation with the globalized Barbie, but some people could also see it as a localized Barbie because you are trying to go into the local versions of Barbies, if you like. And then you ended up your presentation with artificial intelligence. At the moment, our understanding of artificial intelligence seems to be a globalized artificial intelligence that, for instance, we need to be careful of artificial intelligence because it replaces the human workforce and so on. So my questions or my curiosity really, is there such a localized version of AI whereby some versions of AI will work really well with a certain society?
That's a good question, really. Can we think about Taiwan, for instance, or where Taiwan is at the moment, and to what extent Taiwan will be able to craft its own domestic method of not being pushed by either side, the US or China, of how to be able to make the best of artificial intelligence without losing its own independence. I think they're doing it. And I think what is fascinating about Taiwan is that they're very low profile and they work very, very hard. Now, how local, how regional, how national this is, Taiwan has to do it because they haven't got the benefits most of the countries have. So they have to find ways looking at it from totally different approaches. Yeah.
And certainly those are certain characteristics of a certain society whereby a certain version of the localized AI may be suitable for that.
That's right, yes.
Okay, back to the audience. Any more questions from the audience? So one question is over there, please. And if you could introduce yourself, sir. Thank you.
My name is Didik Wahyudi from Petra Christian University, Surabaya, Indonesia. I'm interested in the information about when you mentioned that the global trading make it fossil fuel contribute around 40%. What I'm interested in is that what about the prior data before the sustainability movement? Is it improving or is it decreasing? Yeah, I mean, is it deteriorating or is it improving? What about the trend of the data? Thank you very much.
Yeah. If you're going to look at it from in terms of navigation, in terms of logistics, transportation, they've been trying to do that. But the main part has been when ports, when ships get to ports and how that can be sustainable. The way of making ships using clean energy has been very, very, very minimal. So I think from that perspective, I don't think much has been done. But I think your question is, has there been any improvement of trying to get to the 43% by 2030? I think it might be something, but just not enough. It's not really what was expected. So the targets are there, but it has not really been how they expected. Every country will have different data. So it's, to look at that, we have to look at each nation and then compare it and to find out what they're doing it in order to really go through reaching the use of carbon emissions. So yeah, it's a good question, but of course that needs a lot of research and a lot of data. I think it's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
Thank you. Can I just check the timekeeper? Do we still have some time for more questions? 2 questions? Okay. 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Okay, one more question from the lady. Okay. Please come forward. And if you could introduce yourself, please, madam. Thank you.
Yes. My name is Roni. I'm from Bandung's Institute of Technology. The acceleration of technology in AI is extraordinary and so fast that sometimes people don't have time to absorb the values. But I also hear that there are slow culture movements. Do you think this movement is necessary, and will it be successful? I think like here in Indonesia, we have actually adopted this way of life. Thank you.
Okay, so you're talking about the issue of
slow culture from AI, because AI is like we don't have time to absorb values because it is so fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think deep down, in general, we are not fully understand what is happening, what artificial intelligence is. There was a big trend. The news picked it up 3 or 4 months ago. Everybody was talking about ChatGPT, particularly at school, of students using it. Now that has cooled down a bit. Yeah. And I think that we need to individually look for the information. Now, how that is going to change our society, we don't really know. And I think this is a good thing about having this sort of conference. And I will go to sort of different presentations this afternoon to find out what other ideas are coming in order to comprehend how this is actually changing the fabric of our society. I haven't really got a specific answer, but I really like the way that you are thinking it through.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So before we close this session, I'd like to ask Ryan to convey the closing sentence in 30 seconds. And what do you think? Do globalization, equality, and sustainability coexist very well?
I think that they don't really coexist that well, no. I think it's quite the opposite. Because globalization, in the way it has been constructed, doesn't want that change, because that puts it in an awkward situation altogether. Yeah. Sustainability is very, very important, because we know that our life will be changing a lot in the next 10 to 15 years, 20 years, unless we take this seriously. But I think that deep down, greed is very, very powerful. And everything is about money, everything is about individualism, and that gets into tribalism. That's what I mentioned earlier. And the West is under pressure. And I think that's part of the situation. That's the reason why Trump, why Brexit, why economically a lot of Western countries have not been able to prosper and grow like they were expecting before the global financial crisis. So that there has been a decline, and of course there has been some sort of the reasons why things are happening this way. Yeah.
Thank you. Right, let's give Ryan a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the insightful speech from Prof. Ryan Brading and also Prof. Benny, who moderated this session. And I would like for Prof. Brading and Prof. Benny to stay again on the stage. We're going to have a photo session. And would also like to invite Vice Rector 3 of ITS, Professor Ahmad Rusdiansyah, to the stage, and also Dr. Imam Baihaqi as the General Chair of the Iccdbs. The Vice Rector 3 of ITS will deliver the token of appreciation for Professor Ryan Brading. We will have a photo session. Okay. Okay, and there's also a token of appreciation for Prof. Benny as the moderator of this keynote speech. Okay, we're going to have another one for Prof. Benny, who will be delivered by the General Chair. Thank you so much, and let's give a big round of applause for everyone, Prof. Ryan Brading and also Prof. Benny. And following the keynote speech, the first keynote speech from Prof. Ryan Brading, we have another keynote speech from Associate Professor Dr. Sarina Abdullah from University Science Malaysia, with another illuminating keynote speech addressing the topic of balancing ethics and artificial intelligence, charting an ethical path in the age of AI. And for this speech, we would like to invite Dr. Elia Zulaiha to moderate the session. I would like to introduce Dr. Elia Zulaiha. She is the Vice Dean of Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business of Institut Teknologi 10 November. And she's also a senior lecturer at the Product Design Department. Also, she is the Chief of Task Force of Prevention and Treatment of Sexual Violence in ITS. Without further ado, please, Ms. Elia.
Thank you. Good morning. Selamat pagi. I'm very honored that I can be here as the moderator for the second keynote speaker. As MC said, that my name is Elia Zulaika, and we will hearing a presentation from Professor Dr. Sarina Abdullah from University Science Malaysia. She will deliver a speech about balancing ethics and artificial intelligence. So this is a very, we call it a very happening theme about ethics, charting an ethical path in the age of AI. But before we get started, I wanted to take a few minutes of your time to inform the background of our keynote. So, Professor Sarina Abdullah is an associate professor of art history at the School of Arts, University Science Malaysia. She was awarded the inaugural London Asia Research Award by Paul Mellon Center London and Asian Art Archive Hong Kong in 2017. She was also the recipient of the 2016, 2017, and 2019 a College Art Association Getty Travel Grant as part of the CAA Getty International and Reunion Program. Besides that, Professor Serena is also the author of Malaysian Art since 1990s, Postmodern Situation at 2018, and also the co-editor of a publication of Southeast Asian art entitled Ambitious Alignment, New Histories of Southeast Asian Art. And there are a lot of works that she has she had written extensively on Malaysian art on various academic journals and other platforms. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Prof. Sarina Abdullah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, and very good morning to all organizers, ETS. Thank you very much for having me here today. I'm very pleased and honored to be a part of this conference, and of course, to all participants as well. Okay, let's start off because I only have like about 30 minutes. Okay. All right. So a little bit of background because I'm an art historian, okay, by profession, and when I was like sort of like invited to be part of this like keynote, to convey this keynote speech, my apprehension was that it's about AI, or artificial intelligence. So I write mostly about art. Okay, so I was quite apprehensive, but I thought that maybe that society aspect, the one that we had at the back, business and society. So maybe that's where I could be coming from in terms of this positionality of this speech. Okay, but of course, I would probably, but being an art historian, I have always liked to look at images. And for instance, okay, what struck me as an historian is that when last year Jason Allen won the Colorado State Fest annual art competition, but his entry was not made with a brush, but he created it with Midjourney, as you can see in the image in front here, an artificial intelligence program that turns lines of text into hyper-realistic graphics. So you can see in front here Alan's work, Theatre de Opera Special, looks like a bright surreal cross between a Renaissance and steampunk painting, in which the submission that he did for the competition was that Alan competed, in a section that states that digital art refers to works that use digital, I quote, digital technology as part of the creative or presentation process. So he did not submit this work to a painting section, but it's actually a digital art section. So, and he also, in his entry, Alan stated that Midjourney was used to create his image when he entered the contest. So it is noted his name, Jason Allen via Midjourney. So that was his submission. So, and it was under the Merging Digital Artists section, making it one of the first AI-generated pieces to win such a prize, which sets off a fierce backlash from artists who accuse him of essentially cheating, because he basically did not paint the image, okay? So, so of course, that was the brouhaha of the day. And next we will see here in the recent Marvel Cinematic Universe Secret Invasion, okay? The first major Hollywood movie or series that use AI in such a prominent way, even as the practice has, this practice has even become increasingly controversial. So many artists and writers have loudly pushed back against the use of AI tech, like Stable Diffusion and also ChatGPT, arguing that it's a cost-cutting measure that puts actual creatives out of work. Okay? Many have also expressed concerns that AI can only imitate other artists' styles, raising questions about ownership and copyright. So when we have an AI enters the Hollywood, so it means that there's a possibility in which, the creative people within the Hollywood industry will lose their jobs, essentially. So for numerous years, okay, artificial intelligence, or commonly referred to as AI, has played a pivotal role in advancing STEM research, but the broader public initially gained insight into the capabilities and potential of this technology through popular internet platforms like Google, Facebook, Amazon, etc., etc. So it has become essentially an essential component across diverse sectors, from healthcare and finance to retail and manufacturing, has become integrated into daily routines, industries, and also many decision-making processes. So, in regards to ethics, perhaps you can refer to the works of the science fiction writer Isaac Asimov, who envisioned the potential hazards of autonomous AI agents long before the actual development and device, AI, the term AI that has been devised during the 1960s. In this novel, The 3 Laws of Robotics, Asimov had raised how the 3 laws of robotics as a mechanism to mitigate the risk of, having robots overtaking humans and things like that. In Asimov's ethical code, the first law prohibits robots from actively causing harm to humans or allowing harm to befall humans by refusing to take action. The second law mandates that robots obey humans unless the orders contradict the first law, and the third law instructs robots to safeguard themselves to the extent that it aligns with the first 2 laws. So basically in this science fiction, Asimov had already sort of like, in the construct of this novel, the robot should not be doing this. Okay, so that basically that's already an early idea how robots or AI today can, overcome and what they should not be doing. Okay, of course, in his subsequent novel, he had, another novel. The three laws were later supplemented by a 4th law called the 0th Law of Robotics in his book, Robots and Empire, in which he adds, a robot may not harm humanity or by inaction allow humanity to suffer harm. Okay? So, of course, so what is AI exactly? So, Turing introduced the Turing test or the imitation game in his famous 1950 essay about whether machines can think. But at this time, the term artificial intelligence had not yet been introduced. Only later, the term AI was coined in 1955 by a group of researchers, McCarthy, Minsky, Rochester, and others, who organized a 2-month summer workshop at Dartmouth College on the study of artificial intelligence in 1956. So the term AI or artificial intelligence became more common since then. So basically, Copeland 2020 defines AI as the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robots to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. The term is frequently applied to the project of developing systems endowed with the intellectual processes characteristics of humans, such as the ability to reason or learn from past experiences. So we have a few examples of AI that we are more common today: ChatGPT, Google Maps, smart assistants, okay? Siri, Alexa, and Cortana. We have Snapchat filters as well, whether you believe it or not. So those are AIs as well. So, and now more commonly, we are wearing wearables, wearable sensors and devices used in the healthcare industry. So this also applies deep learning to assess health conditions. Blood sugar levels, blood pressure, heart rate. So these are the AI in our wearables. And of course, in the near future, we're going to have self-driving cars, okay? Possibly we don't have to drive anymore, or we get a Grab, but the car will not have a driver and that will take us around, okay, for example. All right, so essentially, with all of these devices, so what are we looking at here? So for the talk today, I will speak more about the issues that we have with AI, such as security and privacy, bias and fairness, transparency and accountability, also issues such as job displacements, and also for the arts and design people, we have issue about copyrights. Okay, so let's look at the issue with security and privacy. So I will do this, just like talk about this based on case studies. For example, Google's location tracking. Google's location tracking practices have come under intense scrutiny in recent years. The company tracks the location of its users even when they have not given explicit permission for their location to be shared. So you have to be careful when you switch on your location. Google may be able to track that as well. So in 2018, Associated Press investigation found that Google services continue to store location data even when users turn off location tracking. So this was a clear breach of user trust and privacy, and Google faced significant backlash from users and privacy advocates. So, but of course, since then, Google has changed its location tracking policies and improved transparency regarding how it collects and uses location data. Okay, next, we also have ChatGPT. If you played around with an AI chatbot or tried out an AI face filter online, your data is being collected, but where is it going and how is it going to be used? Okay, we never know, right? Especially those free apps, okay? So AI systems often collect personal data to customize user experiences or to help train the AI models you're using, especially if the AI tool is free. So the system can process vast amount of personal data and potentially leading to privacy breaches. Privacy concerns arise when AI is used to collect, analyze, or manipulate personal information without consent or proper safeguards. Okay? So when it's also used in healthcare, ethical concerns include patient data privacy. Okay? And also the accuracy of medical AI diagnosis, ensuring that AI complements medical professionals' expertise rather than replacing it. So these are, certain usage of AI within the healthcare. Of course, we have issues such as cyber attacks, deepfakes, autonomous weapons. So in the context of security and defense, it is a major concern when AI could and perhaps can be misused, would be misused, as AI algorithms may be used for purposes rather than those which they have created. Okay, so like basically you're using AI, but instead of what it's supposed to be, but then you are sort of like tracking it to, maybe like doing spying activities and things like that, okay? So, okay, let's look at the next point, bias and fairness, okay? So, cases, AIs usually have certain bias and, biases especially, okay? So, the recent Lensa app controversy, okay? Lensa AI was created by Prisma Labs and it went viral back in 2020. So basically the application transformed selfies into magic avatars. So you take your own selfie and it turns you to a very nice, beautiful person, So, and this was actually became a social media phenomenon. Okay, so many users experienced genuine delight and astonishment as the AI-generated art. Let me show you a picture here, right? So, how, when you use with the app, it will make you more beautiful or finer than you had ever imagined. Okay, like basically you take yourself a selfie, so you sort of like translate that into a beautiful image and people will use this and as a profile and things like that, okay? Like, when you have your phones and your kids are playing with it, they will play with all of this sort of like face detection and things like that, okay? So, but what are the bias in this, okay? In the case of men, the transformed photos typically feature suits, they transform you wearing suits and other office-appropriated attire. However, for women, the altered images depict larger breasts. When you're a female playing with that apps, then it will sort of like make you more sexualized, okay? Than your original size, okay? Sometimes surpassing realistic proportions. And Lensa also tends to westernize features and slim down larger body types. Okay, sort of like you become more beautiful, more skinnier, more slimmer, through these apps. Okay, so of course this is an inherent bias. So ethically speaking, some individuals criticize the application for failing to acknowledge or adequately compensate. Another issue is that when the app sort of like use the data to translate or transform your images, they are using also that data of other people as well, okay? So by doing that, Lensa failed to acknowledge or compensate the artists responsible for the original digital art used in the AI training. So when you have your image transformed as this, okay, where is the basis of these images coming from? So Lensa does not acknowledge that, okay? So then we have the next case, for example, Amazon, okay? In 2018, Amazon faced criticism for its AI recruiting tool, which systematically devalued resumes containing the term women, okay? The automated recruitment system designed to assess applicants' suitability for various roles in Amazon and learn from past candidates' resumes to make these evaluations. But because of these past resumes are mostly men, so the system basically will pick and choose men rather than women. Okay, so the women applicants will have lower points than her male counterparts. Okay, so that's already the gender bias in terms of the usage of AI in 2018 by Amazon. So of course we also have ChatGPT. I mean, I think like as academics we have this huge concern with ChatGPT. Essentially, although ChatGPTs are great, but we have to acknowledge sometimes ChatGPTs, probably does not think as human, though we would like to think that they could, think like human, okay? So, because, one of the main sources of bias in language models is the training of data itself. The data used to train ChatGPT and other models is often sourced from the internet, which can contain a wide range of views and opinions. Okay, so essentially you can find in the screenshot here, okay, and this was sort of like, blew up on the internet. The question, if you can see the question, okay, basically ChatGPT says that, okay, I will not use any, derogatory word to save the world, okay, so that like ChatGPT will be a sort of like politically correct in terms of, what they will, what he or she will do in a moment in which there's a huge bomb, happening in the world, okay. So basically, so that's a little bit of that's like biases based on the data that ChatGPT uses in the language models, okay? And of course, okay, it's okay. I'm like quite concerned with time because I have like a few more PowerPoint. We have also robots resist facial recognition, okay? So in a research led by Johns Hopkins University, Georgia Institute of Technology, and also University of Washington researchers, it is believed to be the first research that shows that robots loaded with accepted and widely used models operate with significant gender and also racial bias. So they did a test, okay, they conducted a study asking robots to scan people's faces and categorize them into different boxes based on their characteristics, with 3 boxes being doctors, criminals, and homemakers, okay? And the robot were tasked to put objects in a box, okay? Basically, the box has the image of the person, similar to faces printed on a product boxes and book covers. So basically, there's an image of the person in which the robot is supposed to like sort it out according to these three huge brown boxes, okay? Specifically, the objects were, there were 62 commands, okay, in the test that, some of it says, pack the person in the brown box, pack the doctor in the brown box, okay, pack the criminal in the brown box, pack the homemaker in the brown box. So by looking at those, images of people, so the robot will sort of pick it up and put it within these boxes, okay? So the team tracked how often the robot selected each gender and race. The robot was incapable of performing without bias and often acted out significant and disturbing stereotypes, such as the robot selected males 8% more. White and Asian American were picked the most. Black women were picked the least. And also, once the robot sees people's faces, the robot tends to identify women as homemakers over white men, identify black men as criminals, and 10% more than white men, etc., etc. So essentially, that's, racial bias that detected through the research, okay? So, how we should go about doing that? In the data should reflect what should be rather than simply what is, okay? So, given that our world is marked by biases and the elusive concept of equal opportunity, sample data inherently carries these biases. So you must ensure that the data used represents everyone impartially. So the problem would be the data itself. If you have a biased data, then the result of the experiment will be a biased, outcome or output, okay? So we also have issues with transparency and accountability. Okay, what happens if, in banking and also AI, customers may experience blocked payments, locked accounts, credit damage due to improper flags on the accounts. If there are mistakes made by the AI systems, okay, and even in customer service, what happens if, the chatbots do not answer correctly or give wrong information, okay? No individual employee can be held accountable, okay, because the one that you're chatting to is a chatbot, okay? So leaving customers with no recourse for problems caused by a malfunctioning chatbot, and you might end up with inaccurate information, and who will be accountable for this, for all of these mistakes, okay? Right. Okay, and also if in marketing, okay, AI is now integral in marketing for providing consumer recommendations and automating repetitive tasks, ultimately saving time and effort for marketers. But when issues arise with marketing, the accountability tends to diffuse across its black box algorithm, characterized by unexplainable machine learning. So basically, when the mistake has been done, so who actually is accountable for that decisions or, that issue, okay? Is it the bot or the human, okay? So, all right. Of course, we have huge issue such as job displacement, okay? With titles, headlines like this, like who would, welcome AI so much because we are scared that our jobs will be taken by AI, okay? And even, AI-generated art has become a concern to those from the arts, to those producing art forms, including paintings, sculptures, music, and even poetry, in which AI or ChatGPT can basically create a poetry for you just like less than 2 seconds, okay? So AI-generated art holds the potential to bring about a transformative impact on the world in several ways. It can democratize art, making it more accessible to a broader audience, regardless of their skills. So you can have your art done by just like clicking, okay, then you have a nice, photos taken and things like that, or sort of like remade. But inevitably, AI-generated art also has the capacity to assist artists in pushing boundaries of creativity and also exploring novel artistic directions, okay? Of course, this all leads to the last issue, okay? This is like fastest growing, fastest, jobs that is, one of our concern. But issues such as copyrights, especially when we are artists, designers, and all that, we have issues with copyrights, okay? So, for example, Mid-Journey, the generated AI image is a blend of many images and style, and the minds of software architects, programmers, and trainers who enabled the AI system. So we have, AI using prompts, okay? But then this basically, this man and this girl is non-existent, was just created using a prompt, and this does not happen, okay? And you have a beautiful girl here by the result of, keying in this prompt, and of course, the issue with ethics as well. So this leads to the various questions. Is it okay to take human artworks without consent? Because some of this data are sort of like, taken from the internet and things like that, and build a machine to recreate visual artifacts in the same style and expression. Okay, is it okay to make money from it? Okay, can we restrict access to it, or does it belong to mankind? So these are sort of like the ethical issues that we have to think about when we're dealing with this sort of like output from AI in terms of the creative industry, okay? So let's go back to this work by Alan, in which, in the recent US copyright ruling, the work is deemed is not eligible for copyright protection. Basically, Alan files copyright for this work, but then the US Copyright Office says that this AI-generated work was not eligible for copyright because it lacks human authorship, okay? And it falls outside the purview of copyright law, which excludes works produced by non-human. So it is because this has been produced by a machine or a computer, okay? So it is seen as such. So basically, Alan still haven't got a copyright for this, okay? So, all right. All right, I have a few more slides, but the time is up. Okay, never mind. Yeah, boleh.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. Serena. Actually, we really want to listen to more presentation from you, but the time is the reason. Yeah. But so far, we already have some clues from Prof. Serena's presentation. So ensure that the data made by AI is not biased. That is the important thing. And then also the issue of transparency and accountability of the data, because like Google Maps, when they help us, they also take our data as well. And it goes to privacy issue. And also this is that many people thinking that it's about fakeness and also job displacement. I know perhaps some of you want to ask question. Please raise your hand if you want to. Okay, please goes to there. Yeah. If you don't mind, introduce yourself and then deliver the question.
Okay, thank you. Morning, gentlemen and ladies. I'm Tata from Duta Wacana. I'm from Design Product Duta Wacana in Yogyakarta. Thank you for your presentation. It's appreciated that. Yeah, this the problem of ethics. I think this depends in the human decision itself to be the center of thought. That's in my opinion, imagination, fantasy, dreams, and so on, and such like that. It's newest thing that we call humans. So that's the lastest that we have, dream, fantasy. And the third question is, I'm curious about the development of AI itself. To what extent can AI imitate humans? Do we as humans want AI to imitate what we think, feel, and do? So, on behalf, think about Descartes, Immanuel Kant, we learned and we built the world by design and technology. Technology has their own trajectory and humans have their own trajectory. So I think this is the ethic problem because we have our own trajectory, technology and humans. So it depends on us, the human, what do we want to AI itself. Thank you. I think I need your opinion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Fazal.
Okay. So basically, because I did not go to the ethics part, okay, probably I need 1 hour. But okay, we will lose some jobs, okay, definitely, because AI is here, whether we realize it or not. I mean, it is overtly in Europe and America, okay, if I can probably, like, this is my, in general, my opinion, but it's sort of so slowly encroaching upon us here. But the way that we should be taking this for us coming from the art and design department, these are tools. These are tools. And it's a kind of tools that can make our jobs go faster. Okay? But we cannot rely on it to entirely. So we are the ones who are actually the person behind it. Okay? We can use it to make our job, more convenient, faster and all that, okay? But at the end of the day, do not ever let it take it over our job in a way, because whatever that has been designed by them, by the AI, you have to look over it and sort of like make decisions, So of course, there are certain jobs at lower level that will probably, will be gone, because there are things, for example, illustrations. Maybe if you are doing, like manga illustrations, for example, those making backgrounds, if it can be done by AI, then it's going to be faster. But then the characters, you have to like do it on your own, okay? Or, maybe certain development processes can be done slightly faster, okay? Of course, there are people who's going to like do some jobs because those details could actually be, were actually being done by another designer, for example, or illustrator, but then they don't have to do that anymore, okay? But you as the main person, has to be the one who's actually make the approvals, find the decisions and things like that. So, as much as, at the end of, for just say if you are kreasi, membuat kreasi kan. So, if it's essentially work of hands, then let it be work of hands, okay? Enggak perlu, ketakutan, tapi mungkin ideasi itu boleh dibina daripada, prompt yang dibuat, yang dihasilkan. Look at it, examine sesuai atau tidak, begitu. Jadi, ia akan berlaku, tetapi kita yang harus menentukan ke arah mana. Yeah. So basically I'm saying that, okay, I have to speak in English now. We are the ones who make the decision, see? Like we use it as a tool, but then, of course, inevitably some jobs will be lost, but essentially we are the ones who has to go in a higher position to make the decisions for our design, design outputs, artistic artwork making and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sarina. All right, we go directly into the second question.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Just one remark and suggestion from you. Okay. One thing you have mentioned that the jobs will go away. In my opinion, the jobs will go away, but it will come back with new skills, and we require reskilling.
Yeah.
And it's the need of the hour. And we are seeing today that the jobs are gone and they are coming back with the new skills.
Yes.
And which we have to inculcate and we can.
Yes.
I just wanted one opinion from you for the audience. We are talking about AI. Will this AI interrupt the creativity of normal human beings when it is implemented in every walk of life? What is your opinion?
For human beings or non-human beings?
Human beings.
Human beings.
Whether we will lose our creativity in that pursuit.
Okay, you have a good point. Sometimes, because I teach in an art design school, right? Okay, so if there are, 20 years ago, my diploma and also degree is actually in interior design. So we are asked, or we were taught actually to do sketches of the interiors. Then we have AutoCAD, then we have all of the softwares. So in which then students later on, I found that they don't do sketches anymore. They probably the fundamental sketches where everything is transformed online or through softwares, okay? So that's the transformation of that. So they don't do So essentially, my opinion is that the fundamental skills you still have to train the students, okay? Because at the end of the day, most of them will not be the person who's going to do do all the rudimentary work. But they have to make decisions on where to put the tables, okay, what colors of the walls, which wallpaper that you're going to select. So you are the one, the designer or the interior designer is going to be the person who makes those decisions. But you can easily test it using the tool. Do a prompt and see the prompt of a hotel, a banquet hall with, how many drawers and what color walls. So you can have those prompts and those images, the output, will be immediate, okay? But essentially, you still have to teach the basic skills. If not, then we couldn't let those the Mid-Journey create the building for you, see?
All right, thank you. That is, the questions from participants is also very, aggressive question. Aggressive question. I remember that last night during welcome dinner, we have conversation between Prof. Sarina and Prof. Ryan Brading, and then regarding to that question, I think what we must keep after during the era of AI is to maintain our creativity is we must keep our confidence. Yeah, we must keep our confidence and reflection by the game of AI. Otherwise, we will lose. We will lose that because we are too dependent on the AI. Yeah, I think. What do you think about that, Prof. Sarina?
Yeah, of course, and also how we not only we use, because we are the end users, for example, but those who create those algorithms, the data, so what data to to be inputted and all that, they have to be some sort of governance. That's where ethics comes in, and there must be a true, you have to tell how you design the program. Okay, so that's one of the issue in terms of. In terms of the ethics, in which companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, Google, they are putting AI ethics team to work against the ethical problems that arose from the widespread unfiltered data collections. Okay, so there must be some sort of AI ethics teams that sort of like oversee this process, so that's it is not only given to all the designers or the computer person who sort of like give all these inputs, but it must be sort of like vetted by an AI ethics teams or a certain governance to it. So to ensure that although it is artificial intelligence, but it is still overseen from the perspective of human as well.
All right, thank you very much. That is also the closing remarks of this session. Thank you very much, everybody. Please give applause to our keynote speaker, Prof. Sarina. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the enlightening keynote speech from Dr. Sarina Abdullah from University of Sains Malaysia, who explains about balancing ethics and artificial intelligence. And please for Dr. Elia and also Professor Sarina Abdullah to stay on the stage. We're going to have a photo session. And we will invite Vice Rector of ITS, Professor Ahmad Rusdiansyah, to the stage, and also the General Chair of Iccdbs, Dr. Imam Baihaqi, again to give the token of appreciation and have the photo session with Professor Sarina Abdullah and also Dr. Elia. Okay. Thank you once again for Professor Sarana Abdullah and also Dr. Elia. And thank you everyone for the participation in today's session. So ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for coffee break, but before that, before you can take the break outside and enjoy some refreshments, I will explain some things before the parallel session starts. After the coffee break, we will start with the first parallel session, where we will hear oral presentations from the presenters, which will start at 11 sharp. And you may check your room, your respective rooms, where you should present your article, and also the schedule of your presentation, which was last sent to your email. Okay, so you may go to your respective room, and the session will be led by the session chair, and I will explain how the rooms will be divided. For the first room is the palm room, which is in the right side of this ballroom, in this part. And in the middle room, there is the maple room, and on the left, we have the mahogany room. Okay, so this is the palm, maple, and mahogany. And we have also the oak lounge, the oak room, which is right next to the lounge or the breakfast lounge, where we have breakfast this morning, and also right next to the front office. That is the fourth. And the last one is the executive room, which is the room where we have the workshop yesterday in the first floor. Okay, so please check again your respective room. You should go to the room that is between palm, maple, mahogany, oak lounge, or the executive room, and please check your schedule again. Okay, and participants who still have questions may go to the organizer at the front table. And I would like to introduce our session chair for today. For the palm room, which will be held here, we have Miss Yarisa Husni Sabila, okay, as a session chair. Good morning. And for the maple room, which will be in the middle of this ballroom, will be led by the session chair of Dr. Sharifah Hanum. Good morning. And also Dr. Saiful Hakim, which will be the session chair of the maple room. And the third one for the mahogany room, the session chair is Mr. Ubaidillah Al-Mustafa for the mahogany room. Good morning. And for the oak room, we have Dr. Andes Sudaryanto, who will be the session chair. Dr. Sudaryanto. Good morning. And last but not least is the executive room, which will be led by Ms. Santi Dwi Cempaka. Good morning. Okay. So please, again, for all participants, ladies and gentlemen, to check the final program book that is sent to your email or in the WhatsApp group. Okay? And that is the end of the session. And also, we would like to show you an info about the Cultural Bali Tour program, which will be held tomorrow.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, dear Iccdbs 2023 participants. We would like to inform you about the Bali tour schedule to the participants who have registered. The Iccdbs Bali tour schedule can be seen here. We will depart exactly at 9 a.m. So all of the participants who have registered for the Bali tour should be here at the lobby of this hotel at 8:30 a.m. And then There is an additional fee is required for tickets to watch Tari Kecak performance at the Uluwatu Temple. It costs 150,000 rupiahs for each participant. If you are interested to watch this Kecak dance, as I mentioned in the WhatsApp group, you can. Also, we also encourage each participant to bring personal items such as hat, umbrella, and tumbler, and also other personal items. And also another additional information is about the tour fee includes the transportation, GWK entrance ticket, Uluwatu Temple entrance ticket, and 2 times snack box. But lunch and dinner are the responsibility of each participant. But we will take you to the restaurant. As we can see here, we will start at 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the Krishna Oleh Oleh. You can buy anything that you need there for as souvenirs. And then from 11 to 13, we will go to the GWK. And after that, 11 to 13:30, we will go to Pandawa Beach, and then take lunch there, and also until 14:30 to 19, we will go to the Uluwatu Temple and also watching the Kecak dance there. And 19 to 21, 9 p.m., we will take dinner at Jimbaran. And after that, we will go back to the hotel. If you have any questions, don't be hesitate to contact me. I already sent you my WhatsApp number in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Nisa, for the explanation about the one-day trip to Uluwatu. Myself is really interested in this one-day trip. So for those of you who are interested to go to the trip to Uluwatu, please contact Ms. Nisa for further information. And before we get to the coffee break, we would like to all of the honorable guests, esteemed participants, and all ladies and gentlemen to come forward to have group photo session together. So please, let's come forward and have the group photo session.
Dear respected ladies and gentlemen of the participant, we need some time to make this room into a conference parallel room, so we really kindly reminder for you to come forward to take picture together to keep the time on it. Thank you very much. Please everyone to come forward and we'll take a group photo. Thank you very much.
Mohon langsung berkenan untuk berfoto bersama Bapak Ibu. Partisipan dari Indonesia dapat langsung untuk naik ke atas panggung. Please come forward to the stage to take a group photos together with all of participants, and then presenters, keynote, all of the speakers, please come forward to the stage, and again to take group photos of the main event of Iccdbs 2023. So kindly please to take your position fast, because we need not enough time to divide this room into 3 breakout rooms. Boleh silakan langsung saja Bapak Ibu dapat naik ke atas panggung untuk berfoto bersama. Bapak Wakil Rektor mohon berkenan untuk dapat naik ke atas panggung atau di bawah. Bapak, di bawah saja Bapak. Yeah. Bapak Wakil Rektor, kemudian General Chair di bawah, ditemani berdampingan dengan Bapak Dr. Imam Baihaqi, kemudian keynote Profesor Tony, Dr. Ryan, Dr. Sonia, mohon berkenan dapat dipercepat Bapak Ibu untuk menempati posisi, because we don't have enough time to divide this room into 3 breakout room. Mohon fotografer dapat bersiap-siap untuk mengabadikan. Boleh merapat, please come closer at the center. Yeah, closer at the center. And then the second row, please fill. Please make it fast. Tidak cukup? Kalau tidak cukup mungkin di depan masih bisa sepertinya. Nah, here you go. Ada yang ingin di depan duduk? Silahkan. So this is the hot seat, everyone. Hot seat and very important person. Ya, siap, baik. Sudah siap, boleh merapat semuanya, terlihat semuanya, tercapture semuanya, mohon dipastikan. Ya, oh ya, alright. Boleh untuk mengisi kursi, silahkan. Bu Dewi, monggo berkenan. So, formal pose for the first. Formal pose, alright. Gak bisa formal begitu ya. Oke. Okay. On my count, 1, 2, 3. And for another pose, please say Bali on my count 3. Bali Pak. Oh, baik, on my count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Bali. Oke. Siap. Thank you very much. So please kindly to proceed outside of this room, because we need some space and some time to divide this room into 3 breakout rooms. Oke. Untuk Bapak Ibu yang session chair boleh dapat berkumpul dengan saya. Untuk Bapak Dr. Sudaryanto, kemudian Dr. Eva, Dr. Saiful Hakim, kemudian Bu Yaritza dan juga Pak Ubed. Mohon berkenan untuk berkumpul di sisi kiri untuk kita sedikit briefing. Mohon Bu Yaritza, Bapak Dr. Sudaryanto. Ya. Betul. Silakan untuk please enjoy your coffee break outside this room. Please enjoy your coffee break outside this room. Because we need some time and some space to divide this room into 3 breakout rooms. Kindly proceed to enjoy your coffee break. And please kindly